Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Pisces. And of course, always a very big welcome to all the other signs that felt like getting an inspiration for today. So, the sun or the earth has moved in such a way that we see behind the sun the constellation Gemini. Gemini here, the lovers, very romantic card. People think instantly it's a couple. It's all about love and etc. etc. And of course, I do not read that you get the love of your life and that you get all that money. I read in such a way that you can become a better person. That's the main energy that I want to bring through these readings to you, because the conscious is looking at the subconscious. And as you can see, the subconscious is not looking back at the conscious. The subconscious is looking up to the higher consciousness, forming a triangle, forming an alliance that gives us the power to choose between the duality, the middle, the center. And that's what's happening in all of the cards. We are here to learn and to realize in the center. It is beautiful in the center, but I'm not learning, I'm not growing, and I'm really enjoying really my life, because this is what this play between these two energy does with us. Now the sun is highlighting the moon, and the moon, Pisces, is now the moon card. So the moon in the moon is creating quite a deep subconscious energy. Now, of course, it's the waning moon. We're not going to see much of it, but nevertheless, a little bit. The sun or the lovers or this subconscious energy, a mutable sign, is looking into another mutable sign. And so here, two signs that can switch and change and adapt are giving each other quite an inspiration, quite like a power that can be told now through these cards that I pulled here. Now, why am I doing these readings is because I am creating my own deck. And of course, I'm using old decks and modern contemporary decks to learn. I have 15 decks here, like tarot and oracle cards. And of course, the oldest deck is the 15th century here, the Visconti Sforza Tarot deck that is going back as far as 15th century. And then I go even into the Rose Cross order and into the Order of the Golden Dawn, because out of the Order of the Golden Dawn came Arthur Wade and Aleister Crowley. These are all very important decks, and that's why I'm using them, because first of all, I want to learn. First of all, that's how I want to do it. I want to incorporate like old with modern, because only modern is a little, one-sided. And so just, the readings in itself are never perfect. I still make mistakes and I'm gonna cut, or sometimes I realize after when I'm cutting, I'm like, oh my God, I said the wrong number, or etc. etc. It's just that no one is perfect, and I think that's what it's really all about. It's about realizing the duality, realizing that something is looking down to us and is giving us the empowerment to choose between these two and still go into the center. Now, the lovers, I created here already my own deck, my own card, which is King Pigeon. King Pigeon is reaching back to the feet, opening the hips, and this is exactly what's happening. The conscious is here, the Gemini, reaching to the subconscious, reaching into the feminine here, reaching into the feet, reaching into Pisces, creating an opening in the sexual, creating an opening in the heart. And then she can see up here the angel, she can see that there is an energy that she is connected with. And then of course down here, the people, the couple in itself as a human energy that says, well, together we can maybe figure this out. Now for you, I created of course fish pose, and in your card there is the wolf and the dog that has evolved out of the wolf. So the downward facing dog is the wolf and the upward facing dog is the dog, looking up into consciousness, seeing Pisces. And of course, here he's in the future, but he's looking back into the past. He's almost reaching into the past, but he's looking up to the higher consciousness. So there's also a story being told, which I'm not completely finished yet, but nevertheless, this is what I have right now. The court card for you, I also didn't draw this one. These are just to demonstrate where's the sun, where's the moon, and what is your court card is the Knight of Cups, which is the birthday of February 8 to March 11. So this is the classical Knight of Cups. If your birthday is before or after, please look in the description. I listed them all in there. Now, if there's a card coming up, I will of course share with you which court card that will be. But let's begin this reading with the 15th century first card of the Hanged Man. Came up upside down, and when it comes upside down, it's speaking about a time. I mean, the 15th century, when you were hanged like this, you were a traitor. You are a political traitor. You betrayed the people that maybe gave you a job, betrayed the government, and so every person that was hanged, they gave them, of course, this humiliation, being hanged, and everybody knew what they did. So they didn't really die on this. And then later on, it became like a state that said, well, maybe I bring myself into this state because I want to let go of my ego. I want to let go of the thinking. I want to let go. So now, since it's not upside down, the ego is still very strong. It's trying so hard not to be in this position. It's almost like you're standing here. It's almost like you kind of like, whatever. And you believe that what you believe is right. So you're a little bit in a defensive way here. You're a little bit like in this book, it says, when it's upside down, that's why I sometimes look, it's saying that you have a high ego and that you are not honest. You're not able to give what is needed. And you give yourself into something that's not really worthy. So, then comes out of the Rose Cross, out of Oswald Wirth, who was in the Rose Cross order, the 10, the Rove de Fortune, which is a French card. So also know that I have German and English cards here, but it's the picture that's important. And it's just a story through time and also through different languages. So here we have the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is always speaking about everything is turning and twisting. Like I said, there's always male and female and the center. There is always a triangle. There's these two dogs and the moon. There is a triangle here. Or this is a triangle, right? And there is a triangle facing down as well. I mean, it's, as you can see, there is constantly, the number 3 is actually the first number, the real first number. Because something new can grow out of that, right? The child, out of 2 people, we create the next generation. And so here, it's almost speaking, because it's upside down, because if it would be like this, it's the card is upright, you're letting go, you are ready to accept the change that is coming. Here, you're not ready to accept the change. But nevertheless, that the Wheel of Fortune is coming right after. It's speaking about, hey, everything is changing, everything is shifting, and also this state of existence or of mind is changing and shifting because you realize it's not worth it to hold on to things, because otherwise the life will stagnate. Life will not continue. And this is what the Wheel of Fortune is saying. Let go and start flowing and start bringing yourself to the next level. Then out of the Hermetic Tarot, which is then the Order of the Golden Dawn, where Arthur Waite and Aleister Crowley both were members, and then of course did their own tarot deck, comes the Lovers. Now, as you can see, it's a completely different picture to the Lovers of this black and white, and it's very interesting because this is more the story is Perseus and Andromeda. Andromeda is saving, I'm going to put this down, Andromeda is saving this woman that is chained to a rock and is given to the sea serpent or the sea dragon. And you can see there is a snake behind her tree with the apple. He has a tree with flames. He has that sexual desire, but he only has that sexual desire because she is that female energy that is exciting him, that is making him wanting to unite with her. But here there is a liberation happening mentally. With the sword, he's cutting her so that she can be completely free. And the name of the card of the Lovers is Zane. Zane sounds a little bit like, are you sane? Are you insane? I mean, how can you? How dare you? And Zane is the sword that is liberating the woman from being attached to this cycle, to the menstrual cycle, to the cycle that is keeping her fertile until a certain age, and then it's over and finished. Then, very powerful, comes out of Arthur Waite, right? The Arthur Waite deck, the Ace of Wands, and out of Aleister Crowley, the Ace of Cups. And this is the sexual energy. This is the male and this is the female, and this is exactly what we see here. Here we see the red snake and the green snake and the moon, and we see that these two create the caduceus, create the learning and the spinning and the blue and the green and fire and water and male and female. And you have the masculine power and you have the feminine power. You would even say this is the lingam and this is the yoni. So it's literally like fitting right in there. And of course, as you can see, it's like two different artists. 1920 was published the Rider-Waite deck, and 1969 Aleister Crowley was published. And you can see it's like the sexual energy just through the Lovers. So there is this opposite energy. There is something that has happened in your past. You are being challenged to let go. You're being challenged to overcome something. You're being challenged that things are turning and twisting and never anything stays the same. There's a liberation happening between the male and the female through the sun in Gemini, through an opening, and through this deep sexual union that has happened here. But it's the past, so maybe it's over. Maybe it's finished, right? Between this phallic and this sexual union of the cup, of the yoni, of the female genitals. And Hermann Handel, 1985, Mars in Leo is the courage to now overcome something that's quite powerful, that's quite strong, that's quite... When these come together, it's like, okay, how can we grow? How can we shift? How can we make sure that no matter what, there is the courage to be, the desire to unite constantly with your partner, which is then of course sometimes also an attachment. We get attached to this sexual cycle, and then the more we get attached, the more we will have a hard time to get out of it, right? And that's also why the ego comes in, because a sexual attachment is then truly a problem. It has to be constantly in spinning, in motion. In that motion you can feel that something is speaking to you and saying, well, overcome that lower nature in you and create a higher force out of it, because then out of the medicine woman comes here harmony, the justice. And justice is Libra, and Libra is mentally saying, well, this couple, look at them, they are holding this perfect world together. Now we have a 1-1 portal here. 1-1 is 11, and then you have another 11 here. So you already have 4 times the 1, which is the heart, opening the heart. Here this is 2 times 1 is the sexual union between the feminine and the masculine. And of course, here's the number 6. Here, this is the number 12, which is then a 3. And here, this is the number 10, right? So going into the numbers as well. And then, of course, here you have a 7 and an 11. So the 7, the higher crown chakra, but in the Tree of Life, this is Netzach. This is a victory, a stage where you active said, okay, I want to overcome something that lies deep in my subconscious. I don't want my subconscious to rule me. I want to rule over my subconscious. I want to get into the angel. I don't want to be here and neither here. I want to be up here in my center. And so that's what this couple has been doing. They are holding very high regards to this harmony, to a life that they really fought for, and really are saying, I do not want to be just dependent on something that is pushing me, that is like through a sexual energy, like pushing me. And now comes you have all that behind you, and now comes the present moment. Even though everything is now here on the table. And the number 7 comes again as that courage to speak up about your desires, to speak about your sexual longings, to speak about the love that you want, and how you're searching for this love, forever searching, and even have come into a situation where you let yourself like being hanged, like the hanged man, but upside down, and you became a little bit, egotistical, but that's a karmic energy that you can break through, and you will break through, because the lovers are coming, and a self-love is required, a self-love where you find very clearly the mix between male and female, and within that mix you find then even the understanding that justice, that in the old age you really understand what all of this is really about, and you are powerful and you're strong to bring that into this world and to even defend it. And so here comes now a courage to speak, a courage to open up, a courage to be sexually open, because she's naked behind this flower, and she has the new flower right in front of her. She's looking at us, and she's innocent, and she's saying, yeah, I am pure nature, I am pure love, and I know the 7, the crown chakra, is helping me to move forward into the page of air, into the page of swords, into the young generation of Libra, of Gemini, right? Gemini is an air sign, and Aquarius. So a liberation can happen in our mind, in our arms, in this reaching back for the subconscious, opening yourself up sexually, opening up your wings, becoming yourself this one powerful thought, and this young generation, this innocent generation that's saying, I want to open up, and I really want to open up, because the journey continues out of the mystical shaman. The journey, the number 29. What number becomes that? Again, an 11. The journey of reaching this. You already know about this because it came in the past already to you. So now you remember that. You remember, and that gives you wings. That gives you wings to fly, so that you can really fly and really see how this old couple has reached this state, this central state, this angelic state in the center. This couple has realized what it is really all about. And so you are feeling that as an influence from the sun to the moon in your subconscious. You're looking deep down and you're looking up into the moon and you're saying, wow, yeah, I do want to come out of this triangle. I want to go into this triangle, up into a higher consciousness. I want to fly. I want to get wings here in my head. I want to open my heart. I don't want to protect myself all the time, because when we protect our heart, when we cross our arms, it's almost saying, yeah, my right side is pointing up to the left brain, my left side is pointing up to my right side of the brain. So you're trying to create a deep union. And of course the heart is always something that we want to protect, because the oyster that is coming here, a water sign, is speaking about let your guard down, right? Like here, this lobster or the Cancer shell, the crab that is protecting itself. And it's almost like that's why you have here this protection. And of course there's a water energy coming, speaking to you as the oyster, and the oyster is speaking to you as that one side that's saying patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures, and when in balance feels blessed and generous and masterful. The focus and the determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. So release this, open the oyster and see if you have a pearl inside. For sure you have a pearl inside, because there is a little pearl right here. There's a rosebud right here. There is something very, very beautiful that you know exists. You know all about that. You really do. And here you know how that feels, right? To be really in sync with a partner, to be unified. And it's almost like this was a karmic story. And because he's like in this way up, he's looking this way. It's almost the ego is necessary for you to be able to see the Wheel of Fortune, because if it would be the Hanged Man, you would look into the past and you wouldn't see that this is karma. So it's almost like, yes, this ego, this being a traitor has marked you in such a way, maybe. I'm not saying you're a traitor, but I'm just saying that maybe this has marked you so strongly that you really realize, oh my God, I got to change something. I'm going to open up myself. I'm going to open up myself, my heart. I want to change. And you learning your lesson. That's all there is about here on this dimension, learning our lesson. And then comes, of course, the Chariot, the Cancer card, the crab or the lobster that's crawling out of the water, and it's saying, I want to evolve, I want to shift, I want to change. And you're gonna shift and change in summer, because this is Cancer month. This is June, July, and then you will transform yourself even further, even deeper. And here is Scorpio, the sexual energy. A deep sexual energy is like saying, yes, transform yourself powerfully. deeply, open up, and receive whatever light wants to come to you. Receive, and this is in November, the 11th month, right? So you already have here the 11, and you have, of course, the 11 again and again with this, right? So here, this is though the card number 13, a 4, and a 4 then creates a stability in arriving at yourself, because the Hanged Man is the card number 12, 13. So the stage that you got back then didn't work out so well for you, but it was okay, because like I said, you realize your karmic story, and basically is that now you're learning really to let go, because back then you weren't able to let go, and it is rightfully so. You had to make that mistake, you had to learn and realize that the wheel of karma is spinning, and so now you have that opportunity again. And yes, this is the Death card. This is the biggest transformation we go through. And then coming into the future, coming into the last row, is this beautiful lady that's saying, okay, wow, I did all of this. I really did all of this. And she is standing there, and procrastination is coming up. Again, a 7. Again, a 7 where you're saying, okay, I'm gonna really push myself and liberate myself through this 3 times 7 portal. The empowerment of your spiritual openings, right? And the procrastination is saying, stop focusing on your problems and excuses. Take a small step and do something constructive. And that's what it is, right? That's what this card does. And it's saying, yes, open up. Open yourself up so that you can receive the opening in your heart, the roses, the love, the Knight of Cups, because I mean, he's the romantic, or more romantic you cannot get, right? So you are very romantic, and so for you, roses, it's like, yes, you love to give roses, you love to give cook for your partner, you love to pamper him and go out for dinner, and you just love everything romantic. But you gotta also open up this. You gotta say, all right, I'm not like this oyster holding back the pearl. I'm gonna give the pearl again and again. And you know how a pearl is created? Because a little sand or something got into the oyster and it's irritating the oyster. And out of that irritation forms itself a pearl. So irritation, courage, and fighting for the things that really are powerful, that are really making sense, a higher consciousness that you're fighting for, really does make sense, because in this procrastination, you are then, when you make a small step and do something constructive, you start coming up yourself, your own major arcana card is coming up, the Moon, the card number 18, and 18 is the number 9, is a completion. There's no other 9 here. It's okay. I mean, if I count this, then it's a 9-9, but I didn't. But still, it's a 9-9. Let's have it there, okay? So you get a 9-9, 2 times 9, like a creativity or a sexual energy that is opening up to be complete, to be in the completion. And that's what the 9 does. The 9 is giving you a completion to see that the cup of love is coming again into a more modern and into more the butterfly, releasing and opening and spiraling this energy, even though there is something lurking in the dark, even though we know that you protect yourself a little bit, we know that you maybe hold your heart a little bit, you're a little guarded. Nevertheless, you going through this transformation and release and come out like a butterfly. And Then the most interesting thing is the dark matter is coming up. This is the elemental. All the cards are listed below. It's the number 38, and 38 becomes again an 11. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Oh my God, you have 9 times the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times. 9 times the 1. You have a completion in beginning and jumping and seeing that these butterflies create an opening so that you can see still what's really going on deep down in the subconscious, what's crawling out of the lake or the ocean, the subconscious that's standing here and is looking up and is realizing sometimes I'm governed by things out of my past. I'm governed out of an ego mind, but karma is here to change that and open that, and the lovers are here to change and open that, etc. And you can see that the couple is here and it realizes what really is going on. And then the most crazy thing is that again the ace is coming, but now the matter is in between, the dark matter, and accepting sometimes the opposite side, the dark side within us. The dark matter is helping us to really see what this energy can do to us when we get attached to it, when we get, you know, we want it so desperately that we do things that don't help us in the end. And so here you again, you have the Ace of Wands, and here you have the Ace of Cups again, but with the dark matter in between. Back then you didn't have the dark matter in between. So now you need to open up your heart. You need to open up your shell. You need to successfully unite the white and the black, the male and the female, the inhale and the exhale successfully, so that you can transform yourself, so that you can really create something new, that you're not stuck in procrastination, never stuck in procrastination, so that you can really release these monsters that are lurking down here, and you free yourself, and you are freeing yourself and are able to move on, able to move forward into the Eight of Cups, speaking about the Saturn in Pisces, speaking about that Pisces energy in Saturn, this heavy, intense energy, is pushing you sometimes to the edge and saying, I cannot do this anymore. I gotta move forward. I gotta keep searching. I gotta fly. I gotta be like, I gotta open myself up. I am searching for a higher truth, for a higher love. And you are moving forward into the 9, right? This is the 8, the infinite search of true love, which is here. The infinite search of the Holy Grail, the infinite search into diving deeper. The last card, right? These are new cards from Alberto Villoldo, the Shaman's Dream. What is the Shaman's Dream? To dive into the 10, because you have 10 wands. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wands. 10 times 1. And you got the 10 saying deep diver, diving into a task. And the task is to move forward, to go from 8, from this infinite loop that you maybe have trapped yourself in with the person that is maybe very egotistical, or maybe you are very egotistical, but it's a karmic story, that you liberate yourself and that you speak up for yourself so that you can fly again. and so that you can really open your heart again and open your mind and open this shell and show that beautiful pearl of yours, going through this transformation, allowing yourself to take one step after the other. You don't have to do too much. Don't do too much, because too much is too much, right? Remember this. This is, it's work, right? To defend yourself all the time. And then look at this. 4 times again the 1, the Ace of Cups, the 11 here, the dark matter, and again the dark matter that is speaking here to you, and then the 10 times 1, what a message! The 10 times 1 is diving deep down and saying, I'm ready to figure out what all of this all about. I'm ready to turn this around. I'm ready to shift the Hangman, not from an ego mind, but into a mind that's saying, I let go and I understand. Now I am part of a big, big ocean, of a higher consciousness, of a deeper consciousness. And in that higher consciousness, I can open up. I can be anything. I just can be anything. Anything is okay. And in there, I learned everything there is to learn, even the dark and the bright has its place, is okay. It is okay to do the downward facing dog and to do the upward facing dog. If you only have upward facing dog, it would be eventually be boring. But because we have to do inhale up dog, exhale down dog, inhale up dog, exhale down dog, right? So you understand that that's the calling, that is going deeper, and when you go deeper, you are going deeper into your own self, arriving into the true love. Wow, what a reading. Wow, wow, wow. Like sometimes I'm like, wow. So I hope I see you in the next reading, because then the earth is turning in such a way that we see Cancer behind, and Cancer is here. Cancer is speaking already, is saying, well, then move this into a success, right? Open this so that you can transform even more. And until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.